or they want to try and trick SK Gaming into doing the full rotate, but none of it is really working out as SK are just stacking 3 and 2. No one's even in CT spawn for the rotate, they're just stacking hard on the sides, which is the correct decision in this kind of situation. Fallen will be able to rotate rather quickly as he's in the arch, as soon as they see the first player, and here we go.
Fur tries to step up, but instead he steps down. It's Phelps. Towards the back of the site, tagged away. Peeks on out, and Ops will completely annihilate him there on the push on through. The rest of the guys from SK steamrolling on in, not wasting any time in this retake. Don't want to give mousesports too long to get comfortable. Are going to be starting to worm their way on in. Taco waiting. Out in CT spawn, Fallen. Going to tap on the bomb. They're trying to finish him. Not like this. Sonny does manage to pick it up. Down goes Taco as well, and now it is just coldzera. 1v4. Time taken away from him here, which steps out into the firing squad, and that will be mousesports to get themselves the pistol.
Very nice round from mousesports, but not to take anything away from them. I did expect more from Fur and Phelps on that B bomb side, because they were 2v4 still, but they should have been able at least to delay them or get a single frag. Nothing really happened for them on that B bomb side. And we know Fur and Phelps are 2 world-class players, so I would expect them to do more in stopping that mousesports rush. Didn't happen this time around. Obviously, it could mean, as you said, that they just need some time to get started, get warmed up, get into the game, because you can never really prepare for a game by just warming up on deathmatch or playing bots. There's nothing just like being in that high-pressure scenario. Of course, mousesports this time around, 4 UMPs, 1 AK, usual setup on the T side, a lot of utility as well, so they're definitely looking to use that and do a full execute where they can kind of take advantage of their economical money situation, what they have in store, what SK Gaming doesn't have. 2 flashbangs is all there is on Fallen right now, so there's a big difference in utility, and they're definitely going to make use of that.
As the first going to be holding close here, and there we go. It's Phelps to open things up, and you can see that's been enough to make them question whether or not they want to continue on this.
Oh, this is nice.
Stick on Oscar, they're waiting. Phelps about to try and take the aggression. Pop flash goes in, and now him and Fur peek on into this. Phelps tagged away. Fur can be there to help him out. Now has himself a UMP to try and work with, but that's not going to be useful as he gets relegated down to the fiery depths of hell. The Molotov going to rain in to solidify that fact. And now the smokes and flashes lined up here for Mouse. Sticko need to throw his. This one goes down for CT. Phelps trying to step up with the Deeg. Over on the coffins. Can't quite deliver. Oscar and Rops between them find both the players within the B-bomb site. It is just Taco and coldzera left. And they're just waiting all the way over on A. Gonna have to save here.
Yeah, definitely. There's no real chance for them to do anything. They also don't want to give the extra money to mousesports, so the cleverest decision here is, of course, to save it, and they're doing exactly that. Really like the idea behind the play that SK Gaming wanted to do, stacking 3 players on that B bomb side, and then do the flash timing that MSL showed us at Malmö that you can do there on Banana. Of course, people did it before him, but still, he was the one who kind of put it out in a big tournament. Did that flash timing over the roof, pushed Banana. They didn't get anything out of it, but if the placement had been a little different on the mousesports players, then that could be 2-3 kills. We saw MSL and Config do that a lot, that position and that flashbang a lot, and they continually got 2-3 kills on that, even with Deagles. So, bit unlucky, SK Gaming not really getting much out of it. And we do come into a pause here.
Oh no, not like this.
This could be a tactical, but I would expect it to be a technical.
Brand new meta. Yeah, there we go. Tech called in. Tech pause for mousesports. Who is it who's dropped out? Chris J.
Yeah.
Chris J is gone.
The in-game leader. Obviously, you need him on the server.
Yeah.
They just sub in their coach. LMBT just joins in. Thinks this is my time. My time to shine. I can lead this team now. Wouldn't that be great?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
You don't rate him that highly?
I'm not feeling it. I've seen a few instances where the coaches have stepped in. It's always great whenever the coaches do better than the players, and you just think oh, make the switch.
I still remember, what was it, Semler and Anders burning Vugo back in the day in the Fnatic lineup when he had to play one game as a stand-in, and it just kept constantly talking about how bad he was playing. That was the best broadcast of all time. But now Chris J's back, so no worries. 2-0 is the score still. mousesports joining back onto the grid, and SK are ready to go, so shouldn't be long before we jump back into the game.
No, Chris J holding this up. Now it's Rops with issues. What's going on, Mouse? Come on. No, Rops, of course, the He was 17 in Estonian. He's still Estonian, but now I can't remember if he's had a birthday since then. He might be 18 now. I don't know. I should probably know this. But he's very young. That's the point I'm making.
That is true.
And, of course, came through FBL quite famously. And now is within the mousesports roster. And first LAN appearance, I was lucky enough to be there. That was at DreamHack Tour. You were there as well.
Yes.
We were together. And I only just remembered that. He showed up well there, and since then, he's gone on to appear at a multitude of other lands with mousesports, and they've looked very, very convincing with him in the roster. I'll always remember Parla speaking to him in the hotel lobby at 5 in the morning, telling him, giving him life lessons, being the dad that Parla is.
Yeah, Parla gives great life lessons or life
Well,
advice.
yeah, no, and also terrible ones at the same time.
Oh, yeah,
it's like,
that's
you
the best
should
part
and
about
shouldn't also listen to him.
Yeah.
Because the things he says are right, but the way he says to go about doing things is wrong.
All right, back to the game.
Holds your life in his hands and just plays with it like an angry god. But here we go anyway. We got mousesports. They're up 2-0. SK Gaming, they bought down on coldzera, but that will be it. Taco's got himself a deagle as well. And, that nade. Taco's not looking too healthy. He's going to think about falling back, but actually just embraces the peak, and it's going to pay off for him as Oscar hits the deck. Man advantage for SK here in a round that they've invested very little in.
Yeah, when you go down, you always just double down and just go into the fight straight in with the deagle, 22 HP. If you believe in yourself, Harry, you can do it. That's what Taco did. So right now, a situation where mousesports, of course, are holding a bit back. They do have apartments control, bomb dropped outside of the apartments. And the AK is here, of course, in Robs. They want Rob to get in and do the entry, open up the bomb site. Robs with UMP-45, and then... Actually, we have 2 Robs in the overlay. That's nice. We have Robs with the UMP-45 and Robs with the AK.
I mean, you can't get enough of him.
Yeah.
If we just put 5 of them on a team, let's see how that does. But, yeah, will the double Robs be enough to keep Mouse in this?
I can tell you that Robs, the real Robs, is the one with the AK. And the one with the UMP-45 and the bomb, that's Sunny.
The man, yeah, that's Sunny.
So there we go. Correction.
Here we go. They're ready to push on in. Phelps is boosted up, and we see teams actually not check this all too often. Phelps is allowed to take the first, and then just back away through the smoke. Rob's able to shut down one within the site. That was actually Rob's. Bomb plant going to come in, apparently from Fallen, but I can assure you on the HUD, that was not Fallen. That was Sunny who gets the bomb down. Phelps is just waiting in the smoke here. Sunny's on the other side, but right now the utility keeping SK away. Smoke going to start to dissipate very soon, and Phelps, he's the danger man. He's the first man on in. Has Taco there to try and trade. At this point, looking to try to do damage. Sunny finds the first, goes in for a little bit more. Smoke's dissipated at this point, though. coldzera able to get one more for his troubles, and Sticko left 1v2 damage being done. There's no time left. It doesn't matter anyway, because Sticko finds the frags, and that is going to be mousesports in with their third. But heavy damage done by SK in that round.
Yeah, starting off with Taco's 1 DK here, but as you said, really good damage being done despite them only having pistols. mousesports surviving only with 1 AK-47. Of course, with the economy behind it, they can still rebuy it. They can get Oscar on the AWP, a player that I have a lot of respect for, especially when he's on the AWP. He's very, very talented with that weapon, and I think he can be up there and duel with the likes of SK. Of course, not win all the duels, but I think he has a chance against, let's say, a Fallen, despite Fallen being one of my favorite AWP players to watch. And there we go, taking out Fur. Of course, not the AWP duel, but still showing that he can use the AWP to great success. And now he, of course, falls to Fallen. All picked up by Steeko, trying his luck now. 4v4 is the scenario, as we do still have lots of utility to spare for both teams. Still 4 smokes up and 4 Molotovs up for the T. So they'll be able to put together whatever execute they kind of want. But as we heard, it's not really as structured and as planned out. It happens all in the mid-round call and how you want to execute in towards a bomb site. Let's see if they can make it work.
Yeah, Chris J, he's picked up the AWP. Old habits die hard here. He looks to try and make his way out through mid. Going to go ahead and smoke off long as they start to push on through. You can see Phelps already rotating around. It's going to put 3 players within the confines of this A bomb site. And that's because of the aggression from Fallen down through Banana, Taco, and coldzera. They have this crossfire over on short. Chris J going to miss the opener there. Hot flash out from balcony. Fully blinds the aggression up through short. Allows Taco to try and reposition, but he's going to get caught off guard. The double peek comes in. Phelps tries to step up. It's coldzera to pounce out from pit. Only takes 1, and Phelps is missing everything here. It is going to go into the 2-on-2. The Molotov to keep Phelps at bay. And he gets the bomb down in the meantime. Fallen. Sneaking up through short now. Phelps is held back by that smoke grenade. Second one goes down to Riddy when he looked to Fallen to try and open up this round in its entirety. Looking hesitant, has so many angles to check here and is left entirely on his own as Phelps is kept at bay by that smoke grenade. He's going to try and push on through. He has been afforded some ground, and Chris J going to miss the opener. That's the catalyst. Fallen finds the next onto Sunny. Defuse going to come on in. They don't have a kit, though.
It's going to be dangerously close.
Oh, no! Fallen RIP. He's going to go down, and that's mousesports. To get themselves a fourth mouse. They managed to do it on the timer alone. SK Gaming, don't be a tip, buy a kit.
At this point, you're very happy being mousesports because not only were you 3-0 up, now you're 4-0 up with the bomb diffuse or with the bomb explosion coming in, and that of course has to make SK Gaming like question themselves. Oh, what did we do wrong? Something they could do right now if they were really cocky was to take a pause and just let SK just like sit in that situation of thinking about, okay, if we just bought a kit, we'd have won that round. But they do force it up. SK Gaming, 2 UMP 45, Steeko trying to find something, falling through the smoke, not going to hit anything. Actually, it does do a little bit of damage. 3-man stack of banana doesn't really work out. But the terrorists are pushed back though.
Gonna be starting to push up through banana here. We're so in sync. Phelps is
we wanted to say the same thing.
Holding the close angle. He has the incendiary in hand to try and throw this out, keep them away. The issue is, Chris J going to peek on past, finds that frag. And that's Phelps to hit the deck very early on here for SK. Man advantage up for mousesports once again. Fur waits on the coffins, but instead he's going to get put in one as Chris J completely annihilates him there on the peak into the site. That's the B-bomb site split in two. And now Cold has himself the CZ in hand. He's the first and only man on the scene right now. Bomb plant comes in. Cold Zera going to rush on through, but Chris J and the tide of terror associated with that name right now continues. A 3K for him in this round, and that will lock it down at 4 miles as they get themselves around number 5.
And very important that Fallen saves this one. If you can bring the orb into the next round, they have a chance of at least getting some kind of buy together. Pains them, the mousesports is this low on HP, Steeko on 32, Christian 11, Oscar on 47, so much damage being done, but no kills being had. And oh, nice one from Taco though. Takes down Steeko, Fallen now in CT, waiting, but no one's coming his way. Terrorists are rotating smartly away from the orb. Robs in the end will end out taking out Taco, of course, who wanted to peek and get that AK-47, but didn't really get it in the end. AK not grabbed. AWP does survive though, but Fur is still yet to grab a single frag. And that's something we don't see every day because Fur usually is one of these players that can just go ham and just go out and grab frags left, right, and center. Another pause is coming in. This time it's actually a tactical one. So 5 rounds in, have not got a single one on the board yet. Didn't need to say much as Phelps on pauses it very quickly. But now back into the game. What do you think, like, how much can you discuss in, 10 seconds, Harry?
I think you just said, like, Fur, wake up. Go back in, let's go. We're ready. Okay. I mean, they've been here all day, right? That's the one thing I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
I've seen they've actually been here for every single game, and that shows, you know, the dedication to watching it all.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of feel like I'm going to be a little bit tired at this point, you know? Like, they've been here since we have, and that's, like, well over 12 hours now. Fallen. Going to be taking the peek over into middle. Players sneaking up through alt mid here. Chris J going to start to emerge. That smoke goes down and Fallen at bay. Speaking of bay, here's Rops and the gang over in apps, ready to try and push on through. Taco's forced back over on balcony. Was holding it aggressive, but just going to smoke it off and play things more passively. We have this crossfire set up in mid between Cold Zera and Fallen the AWP. Positioned over at long. Fur and Phelps looking like they want to try to hand it some aggression down through banana as they boost Phelps up on top of the wall here. That's going to allow him to rotate Fur on off. Keep an extra man over on A. You might just see him play the speedway for the fast rotation here. As that smoke starts to dissipate, Fur is in a world of trouble if they come crashing through.
He's just trying to use the peak spot. And here's the optional ring and then rotates back to the side, calls the rotation as well. From his teammate Fer. So now there are at least 2 on the bomb side if the mousesports train decides to go their way. Let's see, Rob's on 46 HP, but otherwise the rest of the team pretty decent health and now turning back. 2 players are still in the apartments. That's Sonny and Rob's probably about to open here and do the entry. That opens up the A bomb site for mousesports. No, it's fallen to say no. Chris J comes in, steelseri shut down Robs. And now it's 5v3, very nice situation from SK. I think they can shut them down now to get this first round on the board as Oscar goes down as well. And this is all but over.
Sonny and Sticko there, the 2 left here. 2v5, no time left. And Cole, he's going to keep hunting for them here, trying to shut them down, take the rifles out of their hands if he can. I mean, they have won 5 in a row, but in terms of money, it's really not that established. The rounds have been relatively close. They've been kept pretty modest here by SK. Pause called in. Battle of the pauses right now. Do you think in tactical, technical?
No, it's timeout. So I'm pretty sure when they use the exclamation point timeout, it's tactical. I think they use exclamation point tech when it's a computer problem.
Yeah, so there you go. They lose 1 round, they take a tactical.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense. They're taking it very early on, which I like to see. As well as that, they might be 5-1 up, but all the 5 rounds they get were hardly clean cut. One of the rounds was just down to time being left after Chris J transformed into Miss J, missing the shot that almost cost them the round. Luckily enough, no one in SK had a kit. Unpause going to be called on in. Mouse, they're aware that things have been close. They might be 5-1 up, but it's not been as clean cut as that scoreline might suggest.
As you said, I really like when teams take their pauses early on, because you have these pauses to your, you can use them. If you don't use them, just taking a break, like taking a breather, that's fine. But always utilize whatever kind of thing you have at your disposal. If you don't use that, then you're just cheating yourself at some point. So taking this early on, I'm actually quite liking it. I see a lot of teams, especially on the lower tiers, especially in Denmark, obviously, you don't use their pauses at all. They just go into a match. If something goes wrong, they'll just go, we'll just continue. Let's just go, see if we can fix it. And it doesn't work out that way. So taking these pauses early on, I like to see that. It's a sign of a team that understands how the dynamic works in this game and how we constantly need to improve and innovate in a round. Chris J caught between Rock and a hard place, but still finds a frag.
There's allowed to duck in there now. The Molotov does burn him out. Oscar finds himself trapped here, actually. Lands damage in with the scout. Oh, and then there, down goes Fallen. Oscar's raining death here in through the wall. He's only got a scout. He's looking for the head desperately. He's tagged Phelps down at 1 HP. And that's the Kickstarter that they needed, Phelps. They're going to keep challenging. That nade somehow doesn't find him. He's still alive and kicking here. Buying so much time for SK. They've been allowed to rotate steelseri in. Phelps is now on the... Oh, there's the Molotov as things heat up for Phelps. steelseri can't step up to the mark. It's Stigo. Does manage to find the frag. Taka, the last man left for SK here. It looks like mousesports will be afforded their 6th round on the board. And that's the reset to come in for SK.
This is going to be an interesting one. What SK are going to do here. If Taco saves this M4, we could probably see them force around it. It's not going to be a perfect buy. It's going to be a decent buy nonetheless. They're going to be able to get something on the board, but with his AK brought into the next round, they might actually go for it. Just have to wait and see. Still 4 players surviving for mousesports. Very key that they get the economy rolling again, because as you said, the rounds have been close. They don't have that good of an economy, despite being up 5-1, 6-1 now. So they need something. They need to save some AKs, need to save the AWP especially, and some utility as well. On both Sonny and Robs don't have to rebuy a lot. So economy going to be looking good for mousesports. And well, right now, you're looking like the clever person. And myself, Thorin, and Lerpis are looking like the fools. But I think that's going to change, let's be real.
You're allowed to think whatever you want. I mean, look at this.
Look at
Oscar.
that. How can you argue against that, really?
Crisp. Oh, what's this? Are we under the water? Here we go, emerging.
Like straight out of the pool.
Yeah. Or alternatively, like a metaphor for our self-growth, and our self-awareness. You emerge from the pool of fertility.
Or the pool in Matrix and find a new world in front of you.
But all that aside, Chris J, the first man up through Banana, does have Sticko here to try and help him out. Nothing found through this smoke, which definitely going to come in handy for SK. They haven't been winning these duels out over on Banana that often. It does seem to be a bit of an issue for them. Fern Phelps this time playing things a bit more passively. Fallen doesn't have himself the AWP. Instead, he's been relegated down to the UMP as SK did opt to force buy up into this round. Oscar's going to have the AWP for Mouse. Plenty still left here in mousesports in terms of that utility. When you look over at SK, it's pretty bare, but they haven't had to, expel too much just yet in keeping Mouse at bay. In fact, they haven't had to use anything.
Yeah, they're playing a rather passive CT style this round, and it's fair enough because, as you said, they don't have a lot of money to use on utility. But here we go, push coming in.
They're going to go running into the site. Fur up on the fountain, able to find the first. Rains in death, but Sonny does manage to drop him out. It's going to be a 3-on-3. Fallen's the first man on the scene, and the last thing he sees is Oscar staring down the barrel. Bomb plant comes in for Mouse. Cold isn't even rotating around. It is just Taco.
That was nice, ducking under the smoke.
Oh. Oscar, you must have seen that, Oscar, come on!
I don't think he's seen it because of the smoke. The smoke looks different on play PCs.
Oh, misses the shot there. Taco's allowed just to get the hell out of there, and that will be the mousesports to get themselves a 7th, but 2 rifles saved here for SK.
One thing I have to say about mousesports is the fact that they know they're playing against SK Gaming, who we know are very good at retaking bomb sites. So what they do is that they get into the bomb site, and the second they are planting the bomb, they're already looking at the retake because they know how good SK are coming in at the off timings. That's why Oscar is already looking at CT, potentially 5 to 10 seconds before normally he would have to, but he knows he's playing against SK, so he's ready for that peak coming in, and he gets the frag. Very nice from mousesports, not only getting on the bomb site, but actually holding on to it as well. And yeah, once again, like this B bomb site hold is not working out for Fern Phelps. It's pretty clear at this point. Seven to 1. There's a joke in there somewhere, if you follow football. You don't know that joke.
No, I do.
Fair enough.
But right now, Oscar, he's got himself the AWP in hand. The rest of the guys on mousesports, all the utility they could possibly need. When you look over at SK, they've got those 2 Catalyst rifles carried forward to Taco and coldzera. Gonna have the Famas and M4 combo. They've got themselves a tiny bit of utility into this round, not really too much. They can hope to get away with Taco and coldzera. They're the 2 on B. That's the switch that's been made. They've stuck these 2 Catalyst rifles over on the B bomb site. The pistols instead waiting over on A. And SK, they just can't seem to catch a break here. It looks like mousesports are considering now hitting up the A bomb site. Have opted to rotate coldzera on round, try and reinforce it. Oh, Sticko, there is a smoke there. Going to be boosting up coldzera over the top. Sticko's ready for this though, pre-firing adamant. This is going to work out. Damage being done. The Molotov shots down the boost, and Fallen in the meantime going to be falling over towards short as Sonny going to pick that one up. Fur down here desperately trying to refrag if he can. Phelps being kept at bay over towards long as well. coldzera is rotated into the site. mousesports just going to make the change. They're going to head over towards B, and it's a quick rotate for Phelps, who's playing over towards Connector, but the rest of the guys will have to take their time. The smoke rains in to block off CT, and now Taco has to step up massively. He has to try and keep mousesports at bay. Finds the first. Starts to make his way around the smoke here, and this could be huge, but no. It goes nowhere. Phelps tries to apply the brakes to this mousesports train and gets annihilated in the process. coldzera cut off from the rest of the team. When you say the rest of the team, you just mean Fur in this instance, in this 2v4. And SK, they're not looking like the team that we're used to seeing right now.
No, this is the rude awakening for SK coming into this tournament. Maybe a bit in vacation mode after a few days of relaxation, and now meeting a mousesports team that is apparently very ready. And they actually look a bit different from last time around when we saw them, where they didn't look convincing at all. But this time around on Inferno, a map that we have not seen them play yet. Maybe they've just been preparing this map specifically. One could always assume that. But they're definitely good on it. It definitely looks very nice. coldzera will be allowed to survive with this one. One thing that I'm wondering now, because in this round, of course, with the force they had, they played a different setup. So it wasn't Phelps and Fur on that B bomb side. The question is, do they continue to play tackle on B, one rotate CT and the rest on A? Or do they go back to Fur and Phelps? Because it didn't work out with Fur and Phelps usually on the B bomb side in the first 9 rounds of this game. So let's see if they go back to this now where they have the full buy. Or if they have a different CT setup, if they have switched mid-game. That would be both interesting and very impressive if they make that work. But no, it's still going to be Fern Phelps on B. Definitely not going to carry on from that round. Still lacking a bit of utility, but almost a full buy here coming in from SK. mousesports on the other side of things, very good buy, a lot of money, and everything's set to go.
mousesports just taking this round, so the Oscar's got himself the AWP in hand still. That's the utility. Thank God that pre-fire stop, that was annoying. Definitely no one there. Sunny is the first man up and towards Apps. Chris J and Oscar going to be pushing up through, but now they've got Sticker here to try and help out as well. See Phelps holding that from CT. You've also got Fur pushed all the way back. Pass confidence playing this very, very passively. The Molotov going to rain in at just the right time, going to keep mousesports away for just a little bit longer. Buy some time for the rotates to come in. And now Mouse pushing on up through Banana. They spotted Phelps there. They're aware that he's down in CT. The smoke got to come in to render him useless. Flashes himself out. Just going to be standing out in the open here. They line up the necessary utility to try and make this push a reality. Going to go ahead and re-smoke that. Applying the pressure while they rotate the bomb off. Oscar's the only man here. He does have the AWP, and Phelps is looking curious as to what this push would hold in store. Molotov reins in, push out towards A, but coldzera and Taco start to shut things down. Bombs dropped out in the open, and coldzera, he's trying to knock this nail into the coffin. Taco helps him out, and now it is just Oscar. 1v5, Phelps is hot on his heels and spots him going into alt mid. Oscar has 4 seconds left on this earth, precious time. And there we go, Phelps finishes him off.
So the idea basically for mousesports in that round is to gain banana control and try and fake out the B play, even sticking Oscar there with the AWP using some utility, while the rest of the team slowly rotates to A. But actually Fallen, when the first peak came in from banana, he actually rotated all the way into CT, spotted for a few seconds, and then it was almost, as he called it, this is a fake. He rotated straight back to Arch, and when that happened, the T's were already coming up mid, so coldzera knew that and placed himself on short, ready to like greet this oncoming terrorist push, and they just shot them down completely. So SK Gaming very much in control. Very nice read from Fallen this round. 3-man stuck on banana this time around for SK on this B bomb side. Early on, Fallen goes back now and plays a more passive role in this B bomb side, but still here though. So there's still 3 on B.
We can see that Sunny and Rops, they're going to be starting to scout out apartments, or the rest of the guys for Mouse just lie in wait on Banana. Going to keep applying this pressure as we've seen them do time and time again, but this time Fallen is there with the AWP, the perfect counter to that peak from Chris J. Now they smoke it off as just to rub salt in the wound. This boost though from Oscar, that could have been the equalization, but Fallen doesn't need the vision, finds that one through the wall, through a smoke. As they couldn't put any more obstacles in his way. That is going to be SK Gaming to take the 2-man advantage, boost on over, and coldzera boosts their odds out on the A bomb site. Going to dispatch of Sunny, leaving this on Sticko and Rops. 2v5. And a peek out to mid, but Fallen, he's everywhere right now, changing up his positioning, able to find himself yet another frag. That's 3 in total. And Rops out in the open, Fur finishes them off. That is the definition of dynamic AWPing there from Fallen. That was a spectacle.
Yeah, it took them 9 rounds to wake up, but now SK Gaming, they are awake and they're ready to go. Fallen, especially that round, shows us why he's considered not only one of the best in-game leaders in the world, but also one of the best individual AWP players in the world. He just has so much talent, and as you said, very dynamic, very good at rotating around the map and making sure that he helps his team wherever they need him, especially like analyzing the way that they have had struggles on that B bomb side to begin with. So he rotates there, takes the opening frag, and then rotates back when he knows, okay, there's no more fear here. Then he rotates over to the A bomb side and helps there. So always great to have an AWP who can do that around the map and make sure that he can help wherever he's needed. And we do have a pause, but we're coming back into the game, so no worries. No big break for us this time around. Looks like mousesports are going to go for a pistol buy here. Stico buy down to 50 dollarinos, while the rest of the team with a couple of bucks to spare. Oscar on 1,000, so this is going to be a very weird money situation when we go into the next round. We might even see 2 pistols and buy from the remaining 3 players. 8-3 is the score, as we do see the Villa here in Mykonos on your screens, as we actually are in the game right now. So even though the Villa is beautiful, I would probably prefer to watch some CS instead. And here we go, back into the game. Phelps in apartments going for the wallbang spot. Doesn't hit anything. Terrorists are setting up for the mid push. or A split, one would say.
Yeah, they don't have much into this round. They force ball down what they can, and they're going to go rushing on in towards a Taco. He's fully flashed, and he's going to fall. Now it's coldzera to try and step up. He's going to do exactly that as he takes himself to Fallen. He's done some spectacular stuff here for SK. He's got to do it once again, but this time he falls prey to Oscar on the flank. It's all on Fur, the man who has been underperforming for SK. The man who has to step up now massively in the 1v2. Bomb will be planted, and Fur positioned over here towards Long. The smoke rains in, and that's going to keep him back. Going to try and maneuver around it. There is a gap in that smoke, which he could potentially exploit if Oscar keeps heading down range. But it won't be the case. They start to push through, and Oscar does not miss those shots. mousesports, they're going to get themselves another round. A 3K from Oscar there. And that was a force buy from them. Very little heading into it. And they come out of it with not only a round win, but the AWP up on Oscar and a rifle.
Yeah, huge from Oscar, coming in with 2 CZ kills and then picking up the orb and shutting it down in the end. Also nice from Chris J to take down coldzera on that bomb side. I have to say, it's always sad to see a player in a let's say, a 1v2 clutch, and he still has 2 flashbangs and a smoke to use, because there's not really, apart from the smoke on the bomb for the defuse, there's not really much you can do with the CT smoke in that kind of position. And yeah, utility, of course, always should be put to use. Oscar on the banana has been looking good so far this game. Definitely looking at Fur to step up, because we know, I know, everyone knows how good of a player Fur is. And the game and the frags he's putting in right now is nowhere near that level. So he definitely still needs to, that wake-up call. He'll get there, no worries. Still early days.
I mean, you keep assuring me there, Risk, but, you know, we're,
Don't worry,
we're 13
Harry.
rounds in.
Just believe, okay?
Here we go. Damage being done early on from Mouse. They're going to be making their way up. Banana, that nade. Oh, nearly seals the fate of Phelps, but does manage to survive. Starts to retreat back. He's tagged very low, within inches of death here in the B-bomb site.
Nice methodical push, just clearing out the angles, making sure that no one's in the dangerous corners, using utility for that.
Now they've stacked up. When you look at it, there's no utility left for SK to try and keep them out of B. They have the crossfire set up. Chris Chapper find the first, but only gets one before Sunny finishes him off, and now Fallen in from CT. Doesn't stand a chance. Oscar up on the box is able to find that one. coldzera, he's going to fall prey to it as well as Oscar goes aggressive. Catches them unaware and completely annihilates them on the push. Taco is the last man left for SK. 1v4. mousesports knocking on its door. Trapped down in CT.
They're gonna live no more, my friend. Live no more.
I'm gonna take one, actually. I can double back around, make that 2. Okay, Taco makes it.
Take that back.
Does manage to do some damage. Sunny and Sticko, they're the 2 left alive, and they're gonna keep hunting him down here. Sunny sneaking up through mid. Oh, the timing just allows it. He's been spared. The Taco God let him live, survive another day, but that will be mousesports onto a 10th regardless. Double digits right now for them on the T side.
What a sick first half from Oscar, though. He's on 11 frags to 6 and 3 assists as well, and he's just been beasting with the AWP. We're talking about how he can maybe match up with Fallen in this kind of matchup, in this AWP versus AWP duel, and he's definitely winning at this point. Very nice to see Oscar coming in, stepping up his game, and taking this and helping his team to win. They're 10-3 right now against SK Game. Of course, it's still first half and everything can still happen in the game of CS, but so far I'm very impressed by this new mousesports lineup. They looked okay so far. Their Malmo experience wasn't definitely good, but they haven't looked this like specifically bad. But this is very, very nice. This is a good change for mousesports. A nice look.
First got aggressive over in apartments, though. Rops is going to be holding that. Fully prepared for this sort of push to come on through. CZ is mighty, though, at these closer ranges. Just going to be holding the angle, and Rops ready to round the corner for just a stalemate here, but flanking in from behind. He has to be careful. He has to try and take the peak, ideally able to find the first. The trade should have come through there from Sunny. He's going to go walking on out, though, and Fallen finds him. That's a 2-man advantage here for SK. And that could be massive on the back of this. mousesports going to try and go aggressive up through Banana. Rushing in towards B. Taco's flashed on back, but already the rotate has come in. Phelps the first man on the scene to try and reinforce. The bomb hasn't gone down just yet. The Molotov to try and keep them at bay, but Phelps has just gone and pushed right through. Takes the fight to Chris. It's going to find him there on the opener. Looks for a little bit more. Sneeko does manage to get the trade at least, but Taco takes the aggression. And Oscar left 1v3. Sadly, just not meant to be as SK Gaming. They are going to go on to their 4th round here. Last round of the half. And with the reset coming in for Mouse, it's a chance for SK to get themselves a 5th.
Yeah, pistols are so ridiculously strong, especially in close quarter combat like in apartments. And that's why a lot of terrorist teams, when you're playing that default on the T side, you fight to get control over those apartments to begin with, because that's the only place where you can really get surprised by, let's say, a pistol buy. So if you have that kind of area, you can work off and get the rest of the map with no real worries. But if you have a C set 5-7 stack like Fallen and who was that? What was that called? Zero? Can't really remember. In that kind of position, I think it was Phelps actually. But just doing that, setting that up, that was very nice from them. Always good to see players taking advantage of the pistols in the game. Taco meeting opposition and getting it done. Sonny goes down.
Yeah, he's trying to step up from Pit, but Rops is able to find him there. Now left in the 3v4. The bomb is allowed to make its way into the site. They will be able to get that down at least. Fallen. Trying to do damage there. There is a smoke in the way. It's never stopped him before, though. The rest of the team rotating in. Over here in Apps and up through short. The afterpart for Mouse is set up. 2 players down in Pit, 1 left within the confines of the site. That's going to be Sticko. Pop flash comes in from Fallen, another one out from apartments. Fallen takes the peek. Phelps rains death down in towards drop, and it is going to be Rops. Then to fall on the trade. Sticko left 1v3. Able to find the first. Flicks back and forth, but first silences him. Defuse going to come on in. This time they do have a kit. That will be SK to get themselves a 5th round there. 5-10 at the end of that first half. But Risk, is it going to be enough heading into their T side?
It's very important that they at least salvage these last couple of rounds, as we do to see them grab the last 2 rounds in this first half. But 5 rounds on CT side is definitely not a good look for SK Gaming. I think it's enough for them to still turn this around and win it, but mousesports have everything in their control right now. It's in their power to win this game at this point. And so far we've seen them taking duels and winning. Oscar definitely looking good with the AWP, so I wouldn't be surprised if they came very close to winning. I still think that SK are going to edge it, though. If we look back historically, of course, this lineup, we can't really say much about it, but back when they played last time, I think it was at DreamHack Open, that was pretty close as well, Inferno. That was 16-14. It was a different lineup for Mouse still, but there's some history with these 2 teams on this map specifically where they just deliver close games.
But, you know, I mean, you mentioned how you said that, you know, Oscar's really stepping up right now. I have to agree. I think he's probably the best player within mousesports. I think that's something we can get behind. Sonny as well as someone I think with a hell of a lot of potential that's just joined. So you can have these 3 players who can bring a hell of a lot, in my opinion. You've got Rops, who, you know, the Estonian wonder child that famously never stops. That's Rops for you. Then you got Oscar and Sonny. I think 2 very established players that we know can do well. Sonny, of course, the latest addition to that roster. Yep. And, you know, then you look over at SK, a team that is just filled to the brim with firepower. But the issue being right now, I think one that, you know, we kind of can't ignore is the fact that Fur's having a very quiet game. On top of that, I mean, it was just kind of the whole B bomb site. You could see they really had to try and change that structure. In the end, we had Fur playing over on A. It just wasn't working out for them. But do you think, you know, heading in towards the T side, the fact that they have this 3-man core doing damage right now, do you think that's going to help them out? They can just use those guys to get the entries. You're not going to be relying on, you know, having to ever kind of look to one of your players who's perhaps underperforming a bit.
Yeah, I think that's the power of SK Gaming on the C side specifically, because anyone can get an entry, and anyone can, like, if they get an entry, the mid-round calling from SK is absolutely stellar. So if they get an entry, let's say on the B-bomb side, they're very quick to either decide, okay, what kind of execute do we want to do on B side, or do we want to rotate back and play like one player making a lot of noise towards B? And the decision-making, of course, within Fallen is on point. And if you can bring that, as long as a couple of entries, it's very easy to win a lot of T rounds here in Inferno, because it's basically off the back of getting those entries and then good mid-round calling on that T side. And that's what SK Gaming are great at. You have a player like Cold Zero who can just go up and open any bomb side. Phelps as well, very aim-heavy player. Taco not as much, but Fur as well can also just go into the side and shut stuff down. So definitely a dangerous team. And this is where I think Mousebot really comes to the test, because you can always play a T side. It's not hard to play a T side as a new team. When you come to CT and you have to have all these small little details, all that stuff figured out, how you do rotate without telling everything and doing too much communication like we see in the NA, where you just constantly call out spots. You have to make sure that everyone's on point, but you don't clutter your information. So this is where Mousesports really comes to the test on Inferno. As a CT team, will this actually be where they take a victory, or will they just be taken out by SK now? Potential of a flawless T side. Anything can still happen, though. But look at this. 2 smokes, a Molotov, and 2 flashbangs. A lot of utility invested into this pistol round here from SK.
Yeah, hell of a lot of utility indeed, and curious to see what it is they're going to try and do with that. It's coldzera and Fallen to pick that up. Going to throw the Molotov straight away up towards Banana to disallow that peek, and actually, I think we're going to go walking out of the bullets. Damage being done, but Oscar, he's able to find two, make that three. He steps up massively, and Oscar completely shuts this down. Bodies hit the floor down on Banana, and with that, SK, they're sent reeling back into the arms of Rops, who lies in wait over on balcony, but this man is no Romeo. He's looking to try and take lives, not his own, as he does jump down. Not proclaiming love, instead he is proclaiming war, but it's Taco to find two, turns this round on its head once again, and Oscar desperately trying to pull this back. He's on four, denies the bomb plant, and Sunny finishes things off. Taco hits the deck, and that's mousesports in with their 11th round. They get themselves the second pistol, and that's going to set them up perfectly now heading into this second half. Look at this, just look at this from Oscar.
The fun part about this round is that SK made every single choice correctly. They decided to go, okay, let's pressure Banana because we know they have a tendency of pushing that out in the pistol round here in Inferno. They don't know, but they expect that. That's why they put that Molotov down at the top of Banana to gain that Banana control correctly, because mousesports were pushing out. So that Banana Molotov was very on point, and they were trying to hold back and see if they can like take the duels within the flames. They get the first frag, and then Oscar just comes in and just wrecks them. Then they say, okay, we lost a couple of players. Let's rotate back, throw the smoke towards the side, and do the pop flash towards pit, because you're always going to be expecting someone to be in pit in that kind of situation where it's like the opposite side. Also a correct decision. But once again, Oscar comes in from the back now from short, taking that fourth frag, and then his teammate Sonny comes in and shuts it down. So tactically, no mistakes from SK. They just lose out in the aim duels, and then it's very hard to do anything against that. What can you say to your player? Like, aim better? That's not really a possibility. That's not something a coach can say. So definitely looking at SK with this pulse coming in as well, like, how are they going to come back into this? This is a very tough mental scenario for SK.
Yeah, I mean, right now as they're dying, SK, they're on the rocks. Going to be making their way down through mid. mousesports just raw aggression here, but actually they're going to get caught out. Helps finds the first. They rendezvous down in the bottom of mid, and at this point they're realizing, where the hell are SK? Taco, he snuck all the way up into the back line. mousesports have kind of played themselves here, find themselves deep within enemy lines. Don't really get anything from this. They find the opening frag, but they lose Sunny in the process. It's more damage done to them than it is to SK. And they've had to give it all up anyway. They don't want to walk into the belly of the beast and just stay in there blissfully unaware as to the positioning of SK, because in this, ignorance is anything but bliss. As Taco going to be waiting down in alt mid, has the bomb right behind him on the former coldzera. Just going to be waiting this one out, a minute left. They've dealt with the threat in mid just by not fighting it. The only way to win that game was not to play. And now Taco looks like he wants to try his hand at mid. The rest of the guys now pushing over towards Banana. It looks like it's going to be the B play from SK Gaming. They loop background. Stick out the lone man within that B bomb site. Smoke goes down over a mid, and that should just solidify the fact they want to head up B. Chris J's rotated around. It is going to be the 2v4 inside the B bomb site.
So how would they want to approach this? I have two smokes, Molotov and a couple of flashbangs. Utility goes down. Fair does not get the first one. Taco comes in the back, takes down Chris, and now Stiko in this position.
Yeah, but he's let them cross now, peeks out, but no, Taco pivots on the spot. Oscar's gone aggressive through the smoke, catches the first, but then coldzera steps up when you need him to. Estonian Wonder Child, 1v2. Gonna be over in CT. Two giants of the CS world up against him, and Rops in a very tricky situation here. None of these players want to overface. They're just going to play things safe. They have the crossfire set up. They can just trade in towards this one. Rob's going to start to push on in. Cole takes the ping. Rob gets them both, and that is going to be mousesports to win out the clutch. But do they get the round? Time is going to be very, very low, but I think there's just enough time left. mousesports, they're going to take a 12th. Robs, that was ridiculous.
That was insane. Rob's getting out that one. I don't think I agree with the first peak coming in from the SK Gaming player going into that situation, but he probably expected Rob to just have saved his weapon at this point. coldzera is just jumping in towards his position, and then the second player peeking straight after. Of course, he wants to get the revenge frag in. I get that choice, but the first player peeking in is probably a bit too confident in that kind of situation. But Yeah. Mousesports now up 12. SK Gaming must be scratching their heads because they're getting close. They're getting like the bomb down in post-plant positions, 2v1s where they should be winning, and it's just not working out for them. It's very hard to be in their shoes right now, I think.
SK, I mean, they're being torn limb from limb right now by Mouse. Currently at 7 rounds behind. They've brought down what they can. They've actually forced bought into this round to try and catch Mouse off guard. Will that work, though? Verb and Taco over here in Apps. Going to see Fallen now looking to try and rejoin them. While the rest of the team watch for any aggression down through Banana. It's going to be Sticko playing that on his own. Has Chris J waiting within the B-bomb site. Oscar just holding for any aggression out through mid. Going to be waiting. Fallen walks it out. Oscar misses the first shot. Very uncharacteristic of him. Going to now fade back in towards the A site. With that SK, I mean, they pushed up through short. Now they're going to start to potentially fake this out. The smoke dissipates over it long. And with that, they broaden their horizons out a little bit more. Sonny is posted up here, though. He's the man to try and rein it in if they do go for the push. Rotates back into the site. The rest of the guys from SK ready to try and push out through short. Taco out through apartments. Has snuck on by. It's Oscar and Rops to find 2 between them. Rops is going to fall in the process. Oscar onto a second. Make that 3 because this man is on fire. Going to go in for the 4th. Will be denied. Sonny picks that one up. But that was fantastic once again. Oscar, he was the point man. He was the one who put the nail in the coffin there. Mousesports going to go 13-5 up. There's no money for SK now.
It's a very interesting way of playing that A-bomb side because usually, first up they go not aggressive, but they go and spot like the corners of, like, for example, let's say long where you have Sonny with the FAMAS and he just spots the corner. Okay, he sees nothing, but he hears the sounds of the terrorists rushing up, so he just places himself back on the bomb side. And they potentially stack 2 players straight on the back of the bomb side very defensively, and then Robs in apartments, he can grab that first frag and then rotate down to pit and hold that position. And that A-hole just works perfectly for them. Shuts down
swear
SK.
You just said A-hole.
A-hole.
Okay, no, you didn't. That's
it's
fine.
a silent D, you know?
Yeah, no, the famous Danish silent D. Oh, Taco's fully blind, and with that, Rops able to pick that frag up. Good night, Sweet Prince, as he gets silenced over at apartment. Sticko going to be holding the close angle. Right now, the bomb on the back of Fallen, and coldzera just going to lie and wait, but Sticko, I mean, he's literally on the side of the wall just waiting for this push to come in. Cold's going to check it. Hot Flash does rain through, allows Sticko to find the first. That's the bomb dropped. coldzera goes in for the refrag, which he will get. Goes back for more. Chris J doing damage. And the Molotov finishes him off. Now it is just for... Oh. Sunny will pretend we didn't see that one. Does manage to find the frag. Now Sport's going to go 14-5 up. Dominant second half from them. SK still yet to find so much as a round here in this second half. They're going to be buying down now into this one. They have AKs across the board, a nice bit of utility as well to complement that. But they've got a very long, hard-fought battle to try and pull this one back.
This is the round they need to win. If they don't get this one, Mousesports are going to run away with it and win the game, let's be real. That's just how it's set up right now. SK Gaming with their backs against the wall, you mentioned it at the beginning of this cast, that sometimes they just start off slow and just lose to your opening map or match, and then battle on further into the tournament. Sonny extends himself, overextends himself, and dies off it. Oscar also goes down to third. Chris J with 1 revenge frag, but still 3v4. It's still a winnable situation for the CTs. coldzera on 11 HP, and there we go. Trade 1-for-1. Taco now in middle.
Yeah, they've got control of A. Are going to be afforded the bomb plant. And Sticko and Chris J already look like they're going to go ahead and save in this round, play things safe.
Good choice.
So SK Gaming will be getting themselves a 6th.
Yeah, technically, they could afford to send both of these players, or at least one of these players, to try and get something done and get some exits. But if you look at them, they have a lot of utility. They have head armor as well, kit on Chris J, and an AK on Sticko, which of course you wouldn't be able to buy once again as your CT. So, and also the fact that they're up 14-5. So right now they're just waiting on the perfect opportunity to get 15 and 16, and they can easily throw away a round like this when they're up 14-5 or 14-6 as it's about to be. SK Gaming on the other side, finally starting to get some economy going, surviving with 3 players, and of course the AWP in the hands of Taco being thrown over onto Fallen. And let's see how this is going to progress. Still behind by a lot. 8 to be exact. SK Gaming here in this one.
Oscar's got himself the AWP once again, falling to be on the AWP for SK, as you would expect. Good of him to get it back into his hands early on. Going to try the aggression here. Oscar's the man set up to try and find the opening. Going to be boosting him over. Going to see if any aggression comes out from SK. They're weary of the potential of something like this happening. 3 players up through ult mid. And Oscar just holding the boosted angle. Molotov rains on in. Don't spy anything out just yet. Going to start to push down through Banana. Try and take some aggression here. Smoke's rained in. Down deep. And someone doesn't find that much damage whatsoever. It landed right at the feet of Phelps down in the bottom of mid. And Oscar, with him being posted up here, allows both the other players over on B to rotate off, especially with the shots he's been landed. They've both used their smokes early on. Actually, SK is going to go pushing through, and this is where things get tricky for Oscar. Does have the Molotov, able to drop that and now start to push back. Going to be incendiaried in, but slips on by. Manages to escape the trap there laid out for him from SK. Now the rest of the guys start their push out towards A. They spot the man boosted. Spur tries to do damage, doesn't manage to connect to anything. The rest of the gang down in the middle, haven't yet emerged. Sports once again going to go ahead and play inside the A-bomb site very, very passively here. Can we see Sticko posted up over it towards Speedway, ready to rotate round.
They have to execute soon. There's only 22 seconds to go. Banana push seems to be the choice. Bomb on the back of Taco. Only one player, Oscar, takes him out.
Yeah, he's the man you'd want in this situation. Time is so low here. Oscar just has to buy plenty of it for Mouse. If he can deny the bomb plant this round as one, there's only 2 men here. They're taking their time. There's no time left. Bomb's going to go down in the smoke. Oscar doesn't manage to deny it, so SK, they just managed to get away with that one. And now Sticko, Chris J and Robs left 3v3 in this retake. An impossible round for SK Gaming if they manage to get it. In the nick of time, Taco gets himself one more. Sticko and Rob's going to make the decision to play this one safe. Start to fall back for a save, and SK, they pull that round back from the brink of defeat with literally milliseconds left on the clock.
I was absolutely sure that round was done, but somehow, some way, and that seems to be the SK way, they do the impossible once again. Get that bomb down, win the duels, and force Sticko and Robs into that save. They took their sweet time, but they got it done in the end. Got the bomb down, get the explosion, and get some more money in the bank to continue this comeback, as we usually see SK. They are a team that can just grind comebacks from next to nothing and just coming back into the game and taking the win. And that has to be in the minds of mousesports right now. Are they going to be able to withstand this and just get these last 2 rounds? Because these last 2 rounds can be very, very hard to get mentally when you're in a lead like this and you're about to do an upset and you only need the last round or the last 2 rounds. Those 2 rounds can prove very, very hard to get on the board. And right now, they're doing a force buy, of course, around the weapon saved. Mousesports boys.
I love this boost over the top of the smoker in mid. Doesn't spot anyone out. Does arrive a little bit late to the party, but Fallen, if he steps back the tiniest bit more, there you go, timing will allow him to survive. Mousesports with 3 players grouped up over in alt mid. Phelps ready to try and peek on out. Here's the man close. Chris J holding it with the 5-7. Waiting for the pop flash to come in from Fallen. Peeks it dry. That's the smoke dropped as he dies in vain. Sticko does manage to step up, gets the trade. Oh, Sonny takes some shots there. From up in apps, rounds the corner just in the nick of time, and Rops trying to hold things off from balcony. Damage being done left and right. Rops plays it safe, starts to fall back.
So bomb is dropped right now. In middle, Taco still has to rotate back. SK about to pick it up on the back of Fur. 9 HP, definitely a fragile player to have that bomb on. And they're just inching their way in towards Sticko's position. Now let's see if he can win the duel. Oh, that's a nice peek from coldzera. That's where you want him, in that kind of position where you can just use his excellent aim to get stuff done. Bomb now comes in. They do have that B-bomb side all for themselves. 2 mousesports players decided to save once again. Taco actually on the hunt to see if he can find some of these and deny the weapons coming onto mousesports for this next coming round. Let's see if it's possible.
Scary prospect here is, though, for mousesports, is that SK is starting to get this momentum built up. You know, they're starting to build up the economy as well. They've got a decent bit of money starting to accrue. mousesports, theirs is broken. Even saving these 2 rifles leaves them with nothing into this next round. I'd like to see them just take one, take the eco. They need to force buy any more behind these. It hasn't been working. This round did not work for Mouse one bit. And then just get back in fighting form with a full buy behind them. We are going to see SK hunting. They've cleared out everyone on the map. Taco is the information. This is where they lie in wait. And they're not going to be allowed to take anything, as Sunny does manage to drop 2, but that will be it. The impact of that, not too crazy. He does force some revives to come in. You can see it's kept coldzera extremely modest. Phelps as well going to have to be dropped by the rest of his team. So money is kept, within reason over on the side of SK.
Yep. On mousesports, on the other side of things, just pistols for this one as they're saving into buying the next. As we do see C-sets and P250s, 1 smoke and 1 flashbang on that CT side, so definitely not around where they expect a lot from. 4-man stack on that B bomb side, and then I think that is Robs playing all alone on the other bomb side on A. Fall just trying to hit some shots, but not really going to work out. mousesports right now, of course, just banking for a quick B push coming in from SK, but the way that Fallen plays, especially against rounds where he knows it's probably going to be a pistol or forced pistol, he just plays it very patiently and just scouts out things and let his players go in and probe the bomb sites before going in. So they're definitely going to make the right choice in this one. I don't think they're going to run into the stack of mousesports whatsoever.
Yeah, Rops is the only man who lies in wait over here on A. And while he's good, I don't think he's that good to deal with these 5 players coming on in with just a P250 to his name. This is a chance for SK to start to build up that economy, keep 5 players alive here. That would be the ideal scenario, but Rops is in a great spot to potentially find one, but he can't do it without a face, as Taco does go ahead and impale it. Phelps holds the aggression off down, but Arnett Fur coming in through the back line. These 2 players are going to try and pad those stats, and they'll take this all day long. Sunny, they circle him like vultures to a corpse. That is going to be SK Gaming in with their 9th. This comeback looking to be a bit of a reality here for the mousesports. It's all kind of come to this one pivotal moment. The double op setup comes in for Mouse. Chris J going to be on one, Oscar on the other. They've got money to invest into this round. No kits, though.
This is another important round here, mousesports, as we do see them buying the double op, as you mentioned, but also Phelps on the other side of things, not Phelps, but Fur, has actually gone back into the game. He's on 11 now, same as Fallen, who has been playing a decent game, not a perfect one. So very important for SK Gaming to get the players that were missing in the first half, to get them going in the second half, and that has definitely been the case. We, of course, have seen steelseri really stepping its game up, top fragging now, if I'm not mistaken. But now, double op setup from mousesports, how are they going to counter this? Probably by utility scenes. That is what they have in abundance right now on the SK Gaming side. Very good at execution, heavy styles, getting into these bomb sites and using the utility to kind of deny, let's say, an AWP or someone in a good position. Here we go, Fallen edging his way in.
Sunny, he's the man pushed up aggressively down towards short. Has support from Rops and Pip. Actually be flying up on balcony there, but Fallen lands some damage downrange into Oscar, and that might be the word for this play to come into action. It's going to look like they're starting to rotate on off, down in towards Alt. They're going to throw out these smokes and flashes now to facilitate this push. No rotates from B just yet from Mouse. They hunker down out towards the A bomb site. They're very weary about rotating anyone off, and that means it is going to be the 3 players within the site to try and step up massively. Rops is on balcony. He can make all the difference. Oscar's tag low, but he's still doing damage, chipping away. Rops chimes in with one more. Sunny allowed to go ahead and take one. And now it is just Fallen and coldzera left. Rops lines them up, damage being done. Fallen takes one, but that will be it. Sunny trades. And mousesports are going to reach match point, 15-9. Desperate to try and make it through to the semis. Right here, right now. Sorry,
yeah,
to the winners game.
Yeah, exactly.
What am I on about? skipping it a bit, but you know what I mean. That's going to be versus Gambit. That's up next.
But definitely, once again,
That's the end goal.
the very defensive setup on that A bomb side just works out perfectly once more. Oscar's there with the AWP on point once again.
And he was tagged so low, right?
Yeah.
So it's impressive as well to get that many kills on the back of it, do so much damage.
But also the fact that they totally read the fake coming in from SK. They heard the footsteps going back, and then you would assume that they're rotating back and going banana. But they were like, nope, just stay on the side. They're going to come back, and wouldn't you believe it? They came back straight into the side, spent all their utility getting in there, but didn't hit the shots in the end. Taco takes down Robs to begin with. He was the Max 7 player, so he's technically expendable in this kind of situation. Of course, you don't want to lose him.
Yeah.
But still, if you could pick anyone, it will probably be him. But now Chris J goes down.
There you go. You lose him over.
You don't
on
want him
Banana.
to go down.
Stecco tries to step up, able to keep them at bay for just a little bit. Phelps will hit the deck, but the pressure's on right now. Stecco, latest addition to the mousesports roster. Going to be lying in wait. They've already preemptively rotated Sonny and Oscar round, and that couldn't have been a worse read on this scenario. There's only one man left on Banana. That is coldzera. The rest of SK waltz in towards the A-bomb site. Make it look easy. They're going to get this bomb down. This should be around for SK. There should be no reason for mousesports to try and go back into this one. They will just be saving over in B. coldzera, though, he's the man who could try and shut this down and ruin that whole plan.
Let's see if coldzera can get anything done. Once again, he's just hiding in the corner. Not going to be spotting out towards Stick on the boys. As the terrorists are slowly getting closer to the bomb site. And they're trying to get something done here. They do have one or two players who could afford to push in and lose their weapon, but nothing more than that. They still have to keep a couple of weapons to get the full buy in the next round, so they're just gambling on this right now. They want to shut it down at first, doing it. 1-2 quick kills. Triple comes in from him. And that's a nice end to the round for SK game. They go down one round to mousesports. It's bouncing straight back. Kill all of them. All the saving players on that bomb site goes down. And here comes the pause. That's from Chris J. They don't have a buy coming up right now. So what they're going to do here is... Well, technically they could force down here because they had two players on 1500. And definitely you want around 1800 to 2200. For around, like, before you want to, like, have the next round where you buy. So 1,500 is definitely not enough for the CT side. And they don't have a big loss bonus either. So they could force down here. They have Stico on 4.1. So we could see one or two weapons and then pistols with utility behind it. Or we could see them just going for a straight-up save. Let's see what they're going to do.
Yeah, tactical pause was called in there. We're probably going to see... How much we can see, you know, Sticko invest in a little bit.
Oh, yeah, of course. He's definitely going to buy something. Unless he's going to be the one dropping in the next round. All right, okay.
Actually going into this one.
No investment whatsoever. The full eco coming in. Sticko will be able to drop a UMP-45 in the next round. Or FAMAS. Yeah. So that's probably the highlight of that one. As they do stack 3 players on the B bomb site. But as I mentioned, they had 2 players on 1500 this round. That means they're not going to be able to get utility behind the M4, or if they get a weapon drop, they can get the full setup. Let's wait and see what they do until the next one. This one should be a cakewalk for SK Gaming. There should be no way that mousesports could stop them here with only USPs. And Fallen Dog will ring true, I'm sure.
Oh, bit of team damage being done there. Taco. Scouting out this A-bomb site. Once again, it's Rops who's been left here on his lonesome. Oh, takes the peek out. Does find some damage. Bomb still waits over on Banana. Rops chip it away, actually, at Taco's HP. Has to be careful because they've wrapped around through CT spawn, and this is a disaster right now. Oscar's here, tagged to 10 HP, and while he's been amazing, even on low HP, only with a USP in hand, you don't expect too much from him here. Oh, there you go. Lands the headshot. Now the rest of the gang start to push on out. They should be... Well, Chris J's head is over the top. Phelps, not like this. Gonna damage being done. He's actually gonna fall down there, and now Fallen, he's got the bomb on his back, has to get the hell out of there. This round could have all gone very wrong in that one moment. Luckily enough, Taco swoops in, saves the day, dispatches of the man, Chris J. And now Sticko. Oh, player's coming of mine. His time very... Oh, Sticko. Flicks round, doesn't anticipate the other. There we go. coldzera does manage to find it. And that will be SK in with their 11th round on the board. But now the buy can come in from Mouse.
Let's see, 3,400, so they're going to go for UMP 45s and some of the players. And then this, of course, to get as much utility as they can. CT side and Inferno definitely need to get both Molotovs and smokes in to counter the terrorist aggression, kind of force them into the last 20 seconds before they execute. So I like the choice of running 2 UMP 45s in this kind of setup. They do get the AWP, and Oscar also feel like that's a vital part of their setup at this point. Phelps is trying to get the opening, but it's not really working out. First shot down by Oscar, though, and that's why I'm talking about that AWP. It's so important to get Oscar on it, and if you get him on it, he can win openings, not only against Opus, but of course also against aggressive AK players.
Yeah, now this is a last-ditch attempt to try and save this round from SK. They think that the keys to victory are going to be inside the B-bomb site, and with Sticko peeking out like that, they could very well be. Chris J able to get the return. It's all or nothing here for SK. They're one round away from losing in this matchup to mousesports. Chris J holds it off. Oscar flashes through for him. Everyone's fully blind. No one can see anything, but Fallen wins that out. Chris J is going to come tumbling down within the B-bomb site, and Oscar is going to go ahead and push past that Molotov. It doesn't hit him. They don't get the information that he's there. Shots railing through the smoke. Doesn't find anything. And it is going to be a 3-on-3 in the afterplan here. Bomb timer ticking away. mousesports looking like they're going to try and go for this retake. One of the first times we've really seen them go for one as well.
Doesn't seem like they have a kid either, so this is going to be interesting.
They're going to start pushing in. Oscar's the man on the entry. Finds the first. Goes in for more. Nearly makes it 2. But Fallen steps up. Rops does the damage, but Fallen, he's going to take all 3.
Quad kill for Fallen there. Now on 18 frags throughout this game. Very nice. Can he complete the comeback and take us to OT? It would be a crazy start for SK Gaming. They had such a slow start as well. Grabbing the last 2 of the first half to make it 5-10. And now, after mousesports taking round after round after round in the second half, finding themselves on 15, SK are grinding it back now. Full eco for mousesports, only a couple of pistols on them. Sonny with the deagle trying to win a battle in mid, but won't really be successful. That means that SK Gaming could put themselves on 13, but they still need to get on 15 to secure that OT, and it's going to be rather hard. Look at that, Rob's coming in with the P251 shot. There we go, Oscar taking down Fur, and this is all of a sudden a 4v3 in favor of the CTs. I know they don't have the weapons advantage, but still, pistols close range, it can happen. Phelps shuts it down.
Yeah, Phelps is the one that delivers us from madness. coldzera going to dispatch of Oscar, and now it is just Rops. 1v3. And he's going to line away over here towards short. The bomb wraps around into the B-bomb site. SK playing this round perfectly. coldzera is actually very far forward. Rops could find him there. Won't be the case. He's allowed to hold on to the AK for the time being. It looks like Cold's in the position to try and go hunting for him. May as well at this point. Not going to lose anything from it. They have to buy every single round anyway. If they can take anything at the hand of Mouse in these rounds, and that is perfect. Look at those ugly yellow, purple gloves. God, how colorblind am I?
A lot, apparently.
Yeah, that was terrible. This whole room, just a deep shade of purple, apparently, to me.
That's how it is.
Look at this. They're going to go hunting for him, and actually, coldzera just creaking around out in apartments right next to him, completely bypasses him.
Doesn't find him, won't find him. Robs is allowed to keep his AK. And 13-15 will be the score. Lots of money on the mousesports side, so they will, of course, be able to buy around this as we expected. Double AWP setup, Chris J and Oscar. Chris J, of course, used to be the AWPer back in the day of the early mousesports lineup. So definitely not a bad shout with the AWP either. Always nice to see him come back onto that weapon. One AWP, of course, on Fallen on that T side, and they're relying on the AKs now. And they're buying pistols as well. So they're definitely investing everything into this one.
This round is so important for both teams. If SK pick this up, then they succeed in breaking the economy of mousesports and taking us through to overtime potentially. It's going to be their best shot, but in mid, Oscar.
Oh, no. He sees it.
He gets all the information. He knows that Fallen's there, but first saves his life. Peeks on out.
Was that intentional?
Gone down.
Was that intentional?
And now the push comes in towards A, soaring in. Rops has to try and step up. This round is massive from SK, and Rops is all that stands in their way. He's going to come tumbling down. Chris J and Stiko, they're the 2 men left, and they're going to be forced back into the depths of B to try and save. The AWP and the M4 potentially carried forward. SK Gaming going to take us to round number 14, and it looks like we could see overtime here.
I want to see a split screen, like kind of replay of First and Fallen's positions and the timings of that. If that really was a 2000 IQ play, that is insane. To show the barrel in mid, so the mid player keeps his focus on the player, while First is allowed to push up and take the peak from another angle. If that is true, that's insane. So, Christian Stico will be allowed to save their weaponry. Actually, not really. They're at least going to have to fight for it. I think they're going to be able to at least survive with some of it. And there we go. They shut down the SK aggression. Taco comes in with one, not with a second. Christian saves the AWP. 14-15, Harry. mousesports, they have had this chance for a long time, and here comes the pause, the final pause for mousesports. Never mind.
I mean,
they don't need it.
What a journey it's been. Pause comes in for SK there, actually. They're the ones to take it. We've got 2 AWPs in play for Mouse, the one that was carried forward, and we also have the investment coming in from Oscar. Double AWP setup is what they think is going to save them here, but other than that, Rops, Sunny, and Sticker all have very little to their names. They can get Famises up behind this. We can actually see as well, I think. I was going to say we could have seen potentially an M4 come out for Sticker, but he's going to go ahead and grab the utility first. Going to be relegated down to a UMP as a result. And this is all or nothing here now for either team. SK, they pulled this back to a 14-15 scoreline. And they're looking to try and carry us through to overtime. mousesports, they had a 10-5 lead coming into the second half. And it has eluded them, started to slip through their fingers, and now they're the ones on the Rops here. It is going to be
on the Rops.
Potentially the last round of this match. Fallen has the AWP for SK to be up against the might of Chris J. And Oscar and Chris J, he's the one on Banana, going to be naded down. The nades find some damage. They're going to go pushing on it, and Chris J finds the first, goes in for more, but Taco gets the trade. That could have been a collateral there. Luckily enough, SK managed to elude that.
Always lined up for him, or almost lined up for him there, but doesn't grab the connection now, waiting a bit. Utility being exposed and thrown out. Some of it already spent. Stico holding in the crossfire position with his teammate. SK Gaming very static right now on Banana. Only just peeking here.
Taco just holding this angle, the rest of the team lying in wait. 2 men within the sight. And it's going to be Sunny and Stico. Oscar and Rops, of course, they're the 2 waiting over on A. 45 seconds left, time just ticking away here. SK, they've got plenty left to play with. The only issue is if they let that clock run too low, then they have to commit to one of these sites. It looks like it's going to be B. Unwavering from this position on Banana there. Just gathered on up. Going to start to throw in the utility now. Stico and Sunny have to step up massively. The Molotov isolates 2 of these players forward past it. They're going to go pushing on in, but Sunny gets caught with a nade out at the wrong time. And that could have torn this round all apart for them here as coldzera and Taco on the entries do the damage. Rops and Oscar, they're the 2 left to try and clutch this out and win out this map for Mouse. SK Gaming, they're potentially pulling us through to overtime here. They have the bomb planted. Oscar and Rops, they've been the star performers for Mouse. And they're going to need to step up now more than ever. Sneaking in through CT. The crossfire set up between the 2 players on the site. Phelps and coldzera. Flash comes in. They have to move quickly here. Don't have a kit over on that CT side. Oscar takes the first peek on in, finds the first. Cold now peeks out, gets the frag. That's 2 for him. And that's overtime secured. That's our first overtime of this whole event. Risk, it's going to be fantastic.
What a game we had so far. And I have to say, kudos to Firth and stepping back into the game. He had a very rough first half. Step back into it. He was on 18 now. Of course, still not a positive scoreline, but the way he started compared to now is a big difference. And that's one of the key differences, apart from, of course, Taco and Fallen as well, doing very nicely in these last coming rounds. And we are almost ready to go here with the overtime. The first overtime here, the ESG Tour, Mykonos, mousesports versus SK. And let's go. Let's get into it. I can't wait to see what they throw at us. Oscar on 26-20 as well. What a game he's had so far. 24 frags for Taco. Usually stapled as the support player on the team. Definitely did more than support. Almost carried here for SK Gaming. Double up setup once again. Chris J and Oscar, each on their own bomb site. Foul on as we are used to seeing on the T side with his AWP. And we're probably going to see an Aegean coldzera as well. I don't like to play coldzera on an AWP on Inferno. So Fallen is the choice.
Double O setup once again going to be employed here for Mouse. Chris J and Oscar. They're going to be the two on it. Oscar takes the aggression in through mid, tags Fallen, but that's the man you can't afford to miss. Man advantage early on for SK. And now Chris J, the only AWP left for mousesports here. One of them has Fallen. The second bastion of resistance lies in wait over on Banana, but the rest of SK have started to make their way out towards A. Robs is the one who stands in the way, takes himself two. Before coldzera does manage to pick up the trade. Sticko and Chris J, that's all that remains. They're going to start to rotate on in, but that's it. The call to save comes through. Chris J and Sticko fade away from this one, and that will be SK to pick up the first round in the first half of this first overtime to take it 16-15.
It is so gutting as a CT team to round after round being forced into a save in this kind of situation. Also because they knew that they had the match right where they wanted it. They had a, 14-5 lead or something like that. 14-6, I think it was. And they still managed to throw that away. And now in the last couple of, let's say the last 6 rounds, I think at least half of them, mousesports have been forced into saving at least 2 weapons. And that feels so bad as a player. I, of course, don't know, but having talked to players, being in a situation where you're just forced to save and you can do nothing to win the round, the only thing you can do is hold on to your weapon, that feels so bad. Definitely hurts your confidence going into the next round.
Look at this from Robstar. I mean, it was looking like that could have been it.
Yep.
Looked like he could have done it, but sadly they lose Sonny on the entry from Fur, and that round just falls apart for them there. And so many times we see mousesports have to just save in this. Their rotations on the CT side really have been a huge problem, and that's kind of proven by how many saves we've seen them take. It's not, you know, uncommon to see teams save a lot on Inferno, but that is kind of a gap in the whole package that is mousesports on this map. Charging through the smoke, Chris J overstays his welcome. That picks him off, and that was a kill that really didn't need to be found early on. mousesports just seemingly throwing that one the way of SK. Man advantage once again.
I'm not sure what the thought was behind that push from Chris J. Maybe he just wanted to get the aggressive peek towards the Banana, but it definitely wasn't the right choice there. Of course, it's very easy for me to say that in my position right now, what's the right choice and what's the wrong choice. It's a different story when you're playing this kind of situation. It's very hard to imagine how that feels. It didn't look good, that's the point here. And puts his team in a position where they're now 4v5 against a team that's been dominating them for the last couple of rounds. And they need all the help they can get, and Chris J could be a part of that, but he's not.
SK, they've grouped up on Banana once again. It's going to be this A fake we've seen them throw time and time again. Oscar this time has the read on it, rotated around with the AWP in hand, going to try and play this one from Coffins. They have the time, they could even potentially get him in. Wide, they're actually going to find Sunny on his aggression in through middle. That might be enough to tempt them now to head out towards A. They're going to throw the utility into the B bomb site. Phelps tries to sell it that much more by pushing up through the molly. They get the sound cue, and now it is just Rops on his own. Inside of A, Estonian wonder child that never stops. It's your boy Rops, 1v5, but he can't stay alive. First shuts him down. And that's going to be the round to go the way of SK. Sticko and Oscar have to save, and it's just save city right now. Find Phelps as a consolation frag, but that will be it. SK Gaming going to go 17-15 up.
It's always hard when you in that situation where you're stuck on a bomb site playing all alone, and in this situation, Robin couldn't really keep his cool and get that one down the way. So once again, like forced into saving Sticko and Oscar. It's a tough situation, and I kind of like, even if, and I could be wrong in reading into this, that the push from Chris J was a bit tilt. I would be tilted in that kind of situation when they're forced to save this much. And every single round is just hard to get into it. We'll get something done here. Robs does get the assist as well. Doesn't really care about that though. coldzera tries to come into the back, and he does some damage to get him. He gets one, and that's all. He doesn't get the second one. So one weapon saved here. But at this point, doesn't really matter. It's very nice it is for Oscar, because Oscar wouldn't have money to reinvest. He would probably be able to get a drop with an M4, but they wouldn't be able to get an AWP on him if that wasn't saved. Paying max 7 on Robs. So definitely going to see that in the apartments. But SK Gaming now, Harry. The comeback. It has been completed. Almost. I told you not to worry, mate. Oh, it's
Phelps,
done.
There we go. Opens up with 2. Make that 3's in the fire and flames. And for that play, he'll be relegated down to the fiery depths of hell. Rops and Oscar 2v4. And SK Gaming, they switch things up. Start to head through mid. Oscar doesn't see that one coming. Good night, Sweet Prince. And now it is just Rops. And Robin has to try and keep his cool. Takes the first, but that will be it. coldzera picks up the trade. 18-15. Heading into the second half does not bode well for Mouse. At one point, they almost had the ability to deliver that crushing blow, but we've seen a fantastic comeback from SK. 10-5 down at the end of that first half, and now 18-15 in the lead. They successfully won out OT. They took, what, like 5 rounds consecutively in the end to have to carry it through to overtime. It has been insane from SK, and since then they haven't dropped a single round. They have looked just phenomenal across the board. mousesports, how do they possibly come back from this?
Let's see here. It's one more round for SK Gaming. Gone 3-0 and won that T side. On the CT side, we all expect them to take this one now. Like, it's almost in the bag. They can smell the victory right now. SK Gaming, they're inches away. And yeah, with the way the mousesports are looking, I'm pretty sure that they've already done it. Mousesports have been taken down and taken apart by this SK machine, and Oscar's trying to get it back.
Those nades find so much damage early on. Sticko's already been tagged low. Had the 3-man hold to try and allow Fallen to take that quick peek out, but as the timing doesn't allow it, he's now forced back, just going to take the rotation into A. Doesn't want to overstay as well. Can we see some teams do that, where they keep that third player around on B just a little bit too long, and it allows that play from the T side to come out towards the A-bomb site. SK not prone to making that mistake. Oh, Phelps dodges them, not in the mood for playing a game of catch. Instead, looks to preserve his health. See, that's been enough for them to rotate Fallen background. That much utility expended is a bit of a foreshadowing, perhaps. Oh, flash rains in. Fallen takes the pre-fire. He's going to be watching from CT. We've seen how strong he is from this position. Smoke does rain into Nullify, but he's going to take the peek round it. Phelps is there as well. Flash in the corner. Phelps finds 2, 3. He's going to turn them apart. And now Sunny and Robs, isolated from the rest of the gang. mousesports, the defeat knocking on their door. Robs is boosted up. He only takes 1 before Fur puts him to bed. And now Sunny, 1v4, backed into a corner. Tasked for trying to land the impossible clutch here. It's going to be too much to ask. As Fur sneaks on down, he's able to find the first, goes for the second, but coldzera shuts him down, and that will be SK to win.